What I wanted to talk about today is we're going to present a case, and Rob's going to show a lot of the technical work, is just to start off by thinking about some conceptual stuff, and really about, at the start of a conference on cosmetic dentistry and aesthetic dentistry, which Ivor Club Evident helps us to do so well, I want to just slightly bring it back to thinking about the patients and thinking about what we're doing to them in our goal for trying to make dentistry as aesthetic as it can be. And it really brings me to cases that I did in the past and cases that I was proud of and cases that I used to lecture about. Cases like this young 23-year-old girl who has a nice smile, who has nice enamel, who doesn't like her teeth, who wants a better smile and wants veneers like her friends where she works as a model. And we went through our old restorative protocols of preparation, arch form preparation, removing parts of the teeth that are outside of the arch form. We went then to doing reductive preparations, and then we went to giving her some nice, in this day, this was 2006, it was feldspathic materials, giving her some really nice results. But fundamentally, what I want to start with this is saying, would I have this in my own mouth now in 2014? Would I be prepared to give that kind of dentistry to my wife or to my children? I mean, my children are 2 and 5, so veneers are a bit over the top for them anyway. But is that the right thing to do? With all the materials that we have now, it doesn't matter how nice these results can look, but with the advent of EMAX and the presentation some of the slides that I was showing yesterday, it allows us to really think a lot more out of the box. And my first ever set of veneers that I took these pictures of because I thought what I was doing was the correct thing. And times changed and maybe it was more acceptable back then. But we're taking someone who has great looking teeth, but they're just a little bit out of the right position. And we're reducing them in quite a heavy situation to get the arch form that we require so we can go ahead and give them their restorative and their aesthetic solution. And we used to say, well, the patient knew the options. The patient was happy with their end results. All of these kind of things that I now feel, even if I know that, I'm still not going to be able to do it. This is still not what I consider to be contemporary cosmetic dentistry in 2014. Because if I can fundamentally take cases that are more complex than that young girl, and the same people have the same desires. They want the straight teeth, they want the white teeth, but they have positioning issues, first of all. But if I can take them to that kind of situation in a short period of time, whether it's with myself doing orthodontics with something like the Inman that we mentioned, or it could be with Invisalign, or it could be with lingual orthodontics or labial orthodontics, whatever it could be. But if we can do that, and we know that the newest technologies with all the nickel titanium systems that are there are fast and predictable, but if we can take someone to that situation before doing any cosmetic dentistry, before doing any restorative dentistry, it's a great start point. Everything's going to start to look better. And maybe they don't need any other form of dentistry. And all these patients are people who've come to see me for veneers. And I think in the world of dentistry and social media, we're seeing these amazing cases and these beautiful videos on Facebook or whatever it might be, and these amazing transformations. But fundamentally, sometimes the things that the patient has to go through are not what we would do ourselves. And this girl on the left-hand side, which again, she was asking for me for ceramic restorations. But if we can then, even if we're going to do it, if I can take things to the right-hand side of the screen, it's going to make my life a lot more simple. So it's this concept really of progressive smile design, and you're going to see it in our case later on as we go through our major case presentation. But it's for all my cosmetic dentists now, really. Whenever there's any positioning issues with the teeth, I want to make sure that I can see these teeth become aligned. I want to make sure that once they're aligned, we can maybe start to whiten the teeth. Patients want to see this straight white look. So if we can straighten them and whiten them and allow them to understand what they could look like in that situation, it makes them more of a rational patient. It makes their understanding of what they can be more clear. When we take someone from a before to an after with a wax up and then to temporaries, it's already too late. We can't go back if they don't like things. And this allows the patient to learn about themselves and about what they like and what they don't like about their teeth. And once we've got the teeth straight, we can do some little bits of a mock-up, and we can say, well, okay, now that your teeth are straight, and we're going to go ahead and maybe just fill in some incisal edges just as a mock-up. then you can say, well, okay, now that you're happy with the outline of the teeth, do you want to do this with edge bonding, or do you want to do it with ceramic veneers? And like the case yesterday, for those of you who saw it, we can do this, for example, with no preparation veneers, or we could do it with something like Empress Direct, and the choice then becomes more down to the patient and down to the clinical situation. But what's not acceptable, and these are cases that I've all treated in the last few months, so this is still going on, is that we start to see situations like this, whereas if we're looking at our canine here, we've got restorative cosmetic dentistry that's been done for elective reasons, and we've got some serious issues of tooth positioning around this canine. So we've got thick ceramic, thin ceramic, we've got insufficient contact points. So this type of dentistry that's supposed to be giving someone a better quality of life is causing them pathology, and it's causing them decay. And for all of us embarking in this world of aesthetic dentistry, the number one thing we've got to do is look after the health of our patients whilst making them look better at the same time. And this case here, this is a 3 months from fitting case that came in to see me the other day. And I think it's a feldspathic material, but in 3 months after fitting, we've already got leakage, we've got chipping, and it's an understanding or a lack of understanding of the materials that are available, and it's a lack of understanding of the bonding protocols that are available, which Rob and I want to be able to help you to understand today. And obviously throughout the rest of the lectures, you're going to see some exceptional presentations on how to do this in a more accurate way. Because cosmetic dentistry cannot be responsible for a lack of restorative care. And unfortunately, I sometimes still think this is going on. You go to your laboratory and these cases are coming in every single day. And it's just not really acceptable. But throughout the right protocols, we can avoid this. And through alignment, we can start to make our life more easy. If this is a case that I fitted the veneers last week, but she came in to see me with 4 veneers she didn't like. I took the veneers off. She has a devitalized upper left central incisor. Why is it devital? She has great teeth. I mean, you can't see the rest of her teeth, but they're white teeth, they're strong teeth. And her words were, I wish I hadn't had this done. Now, she could have still had lovely veneers, maybe no prep veneers, if we'd have aligned her teeth first of all. But now my problem, as the guy who's coming in after the damage is done, is now I've got to balance some relatively thin restorations with underlying color issues because I've got the devitalized tooth has become dark. So she's in a more compromised position because of the dentistry that was done in the name of aesthetics. And it gets worse. We still see this all the time. This is not old, this is new. And we look at the problems that are going on because of tooth positioning and the subtle things that the big differences it makes. They're not seating because the teeth are too difficult probably to get the veneers in. Okay, there's a whole world of technical issues going on here. But we look at the canines, the canine is almost disappeared because it was so out of position. So, what this really brings on to is our first case, which we're going to go through. So this is Nikki, and this is real life dentistry. This is not dentistry now that's done for a presentation. It's not dentistry that's done for an article or anything like that. It's dentistry that was done because it was fundamentally needed, and it's restorative dentistry that needs to look nice. And to me, that in 2014 is what cosmetic dentistry is all about. Because her smile isn't bad, she has a great smile, but fundamentally there's things that she doesn't like about it, but there's also things that as dentists we don't like about it. We have some open contacts, for example, we have cement between the teeth, we have teeth that have been accessed for root canals, and there's issues going on with those things. We've got temporary crowns on the molars. And when you look a little bit closer, it gets a little bit more in need of treatment. So we have, see, this is where our temporary crowns are. We have fitting issues of the existing restorations. We have some caries. So this is just real life general dentistry that needs a restorative solution with a team of a dentist and a technician.